Greetings folks, today we are talking about another one of my favorite Hive fleets that we're going to try to conceptualize to become a functional, lore-based army, Hive Fleet Ouroboros. Now this is one of my favorite fleets, not only based on a color scheme, but the whole theme of it really. It's just it's a Tyranid fleet set on a lot of, a lot of airborne infantry. So to start things off, before we conceptualize our army, we're going to read a little bit of lore. This is coming from Hive Fleet Ouroboros Lexicon, and this particular one comes from the warhammer40k.fandom.com wiki thing. I'll leave a link in the section below. So to start things off, Hive Fleet Ouroboros is a Tyranid Hive fleet that may have been the first true Tyranids ever encountered by the Imperium of Man. A lot of the time, Hive Fleet Behemoth was the first one that we've truly encountered, but some leave to speculate that perhaps Ouroboros is the more primal and a pre-existing version. There are some who believe that Hive Fleet Ouroboros was the very first fleet to encounter mankind. These theorists cite the ancient histories of Cardinal Marimalis the Elder, who spoke of the nightmare legion of winged entities of flame with infernal age. Now we're gonna take that home, winged entities of flame. We're gonna keep that in mind for our little army here, which savaged the Helican sector sometime in the early 36th millennium. Now let's see here. Just gonna skip all that. Aha! Here we are. It is now impossible to prove any direct connection, but the recent Imperial encounters with the Hive Fleet designated Ouroboros to have uncovered disturbing echoes of the old legends of time itself. Ouroboros favors massed aerial assault, filling the air with so many gargoyles and harpies that those below must fight in near dark. It strikes swiftly, owning in upon areas of strategic value with unerring accuracy. By slaughtering officers and destroying communication outposts, Ouroboros tears the eyes from its prey, leaving them confused and vulnerable. Yet perhaps the most distributing aspect of the Hive Fleet is its strange primordial biology. Encounters with Ouroboros have revealed that the organisms spawned by this Hive Fleet contain cruder, primitive versions of common Tyranid bioweapons and organs. Unfortunately, these strange mutations have rendered many weapons and tactics designed to encounter the Tyranid menace largely ineffective against the sky swarms of Ouroboros. Now with that in mind, that's a pretty cool passage, and really shows how nasty this fleet can be with just pure aerial assault. So, to start things off, before we construct our actual list, we are going to figure out what best Hive Fleet adaptations will suit this army the greatest. Now, for these specific ones, we're going to create, quote-unquote, our own Hive Fleet, Ouroboros themed, by using our Psychic Awakening 40k Blood of Baal book. This book contains a large amount of stuff for Blood Angels, Space Marines specifically, but when it comes to the Tyranids, there's really not that much except for a lot of adaptable physiology differences, and also pretty much making your own Hive Fleet, kind of like how Space Marines can make their own chapters and stuff. That's about it we got. But this will really come in handy for us to change how our Hive Fleet works. Now let's see here. Hive Fleet adaptations on pages 74 and 75 of the Blood of Baal book. You will find the rules for creating your own Hive Fleet adaptations. These comprise of a section of abilities that can be combined to create a Hive Fleet of your own choosing, or be used to represent one of the Hive Fleets in the publications of the book, so like the pre-existing Hive Fleets of Behemoth and Leviathan and Kraken and all those other guys. So we are going to go into the adaptations. Now, something that would best suit these is something that will give them the ability to hit for higher damage or have a better armor penetration, since it was mentioned that in paragraph 3 that the weapons are much cruder and more primordial compared to the other Hive fleets, and that they have a very high amount of swiftness. So we want an army that has a lot of aerial attack support, and abilities where it is fast moving with really good penetration or damage output. So like, we'll be applying a lot of toxin sacks to our guys. We want to throw in a little bit of some armor penetration buffs. So we're going to look through here and see which of these will work. Let's see here. Sorry about that loud noise, I dropped something. Now, with these adaptations, it's a little tricky to figure out exactly which one of these would work best, because a lot of them seem to buff melee or monsters or smaller things, really. So, starting things off, we will choose a leader, so that way we can start formulating our battle plan. Now, this being a flying-based army list, we want to have HQs who have the fly keyword, which would be a Swarmlord. Not a Swarmlord, sorry. Ignore that. Which would be our Hive Tyrants, the flying Hive Tyrants specifically. So we are going to have 3 of these guys. We'll give them each adrenal glands and toxin sacks. Right, toxin sacks. Pretty sure these can affect weapons as well. Any wound rolls on a 6+ in a fight phase. Ah, fight phase. So never mind on that. Actually, you know what? Our Warlord can have a weapon while the other 2 do not. And they could just be melee based. Then again, range is better. This will be an army with a lot of ranged. I don't think any melee at all. So, this will be almost like a weird Kronos army, but with a lot of flying. So we're going to give them all adrenal glands here. We'll make one of them our Warlord. All 3 will have wings. Now to separate our Warlord from the others, we are going to give it... let's see here. Heavy Venom Cannon. 36 range, Assault D3, 9 Strength, AP -2, and D3 damage compared to a Stranglethorn Cannon, which is 36 range, Assault D6, 7 Strength, AP 1, and the damage is 2. While you can add 1 to hit rolls for this weapon when attacking a unit with 10 or more models. Okay. So we will give our Warlord the Heavy Venom Cannon for its weapon, and then we'll give our 2 other Hive Tyrants the Stranglethorn Cannon, so that way you have 2 big units who are able to go in and deal some damage. Alright. Not sure why it's labeling the fact that we only have 1 weapon on our Hive Tyrant, when a Hive Tyrant with wings can only have 1 pair of arms. So we'll just ignore that. Okay. Now for the adapted physiology of our Hive Tyrant, we want to give him either something that can really beef up his damage. When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon against a model from this unit that is receiving the benefit of cover, add 2 to the saving throw instead of 1. Alright. Intervention. Enhanced resistance. When resolving an attack made against this unit with a weapon that has armor penetration of AP-1 or AP-2, that weapon has an armor penetration characteristic of 0 for the attack. This will give our Warlord the ability to take a few hits if he ever gets caught out, without really having a huge impact on him. So we will, let's see here, APC, so we'll give him Adaptive Physiology. So for the monster adaptations, 5+ invulnerable save, synaptic enhancement, murderous size. At the end of your shooting phase, select one enemy unit that had one or more models destroy this phase as a result of an attack made by this model. That unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. This will also tie into the theme of Ouroboros having more lethal weapons compared to the other Hive fleets. So we'll give him Voracious Ammunition. I'll try to find it in here. ABC. So we will keep him with that. The ability to deal an additional D3 mortal wounds to the army to the unit it was attacking. So this specific Hive tyrant with our heavy venom cannon will have an adaptive physiology. And then we'll also give him something else to combine with the venom cannon. Battle thorny cannon. So, in terms of ranged weaponry for all these guys, we'll actually use some of the Kraken-based, Chronos-based abilities here. Stranglethorn Cannon only. Alright, never mind on that. There's a lot of things we could do with these guys. Select one friendly Chronos unit within 12 inches of the Psyker. The Psyker being your Hive Tyrant, since Hive Tyrants have psychic abilities they can use. Chronos use it within 12 inches of this Psyker until the end of the turn when resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by a model with that unit. A hit roll of 6+ scores one additional attack. One additional hit. So we'll be using that there. Alright. And it is known that Ouroboros favors massed aerial assaults, filling the air with so many gargoyles and harpies. So we are going to fill this thing up with a lot of gargoyles. And a good amount of some harpies too. So we'll add in, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, we can have a lot of those. But for our army, we only want to have 2 of these, and 1 Hive Crone. Death throws and secret behavior. Hive. Reroll. What? Actually, we'll just stick with the harpies. We'll leave them with the Shinglethorn cannons. Now for our basic units. Fast attack, we want to have a good amount of gargoyles. So we'll have about 30 in this group with adrenal glands. For the troops, we want to have Hormagaunts, Gene Stealers, Termagants, Tyranid Warriors. To balance this out, we'll have some warriors. We want a huge amount of flying units, but in case of finding things, we want to have some ground units. And a good selection for ground units is something that could take a couple of hits. So we'll have some warriors. We'll have that. We'll have some Ripper Swarms. And about two little squads of those guys. Ripper Swarms are small, barely noticeable when the whole battlefield is covered with units. So I have a good amount of these guys here. And Ripper Swarms will tie in with the other version, which are Flying Rippers, which is called Sky Lasher Swarms. These are our models from Forge World, so they're a little expensive. Same with Tyranid Strikes, they're just flying versions of Tyranid Warriors. You can easily kit bash and make your own using some wings from other models like Chaos Space Marine Possessed, or some of the Warcry, or Age of Sigmar models that have small wings that could fit Tyranid. So we'll add some strikes. We'll add 2 little squads of the Sky Lasher Swarms. Now for melee weapons, for the ground-based warriors, we will give them a Lash Whip and Bone Sword, and then we will give them a Death Spitter for their regular weapon. So that'll be a Lash Whip and Bone Swords with a Death Spitter. Ooh, almost left that as a Devourer. That'll be for our little unit there. And for our flying ones, we will give these guys a Death Spitter as well. Death Spitters are pretty good, they have a nice range. They pretty much are a 24-inch range, Assault 3, 5 Strength, -1 AP, and 1 damage. Which is totally good for what we're trying to do here. We're trying to have a lot of units that can hit real hard and cover a lot of ground, but we don't want them to be too out in the open. We'll actually give them Rending Claws instead of Scything Talons, so they can shred a unit if any gets close enough. Alright, we have our little swarms there. And now, for the main theme, we have 30 gargoyles. We're going to get another splash of gargoyles. We're just going to fill this thing up with so many of those units that we just want to put our wheels to the test. We'll add another harpy. Then we'll get some of these little flying dudes and start spamming them. So we'll have another 30 of these with adrenal glands. That'll lead us up to 1,725 points with this selection so far. We'll be adding another unit with adrenal glands. Perfect. Alright, so we have 3 units of 30 gargoyles. We have 3 harpies, a unit of 3 Tyranid Strikes, a unit, 2 units of Sky Lasher Swarms. Actually, we could just consolidate these together. We have a unit of 6 Sky Lasher Swarms. we have 1 unit of Tyranid Warriors, 2 Ripper Swarm units, and 3 Flying Hive Tyrants. 1 our Warlord with a Venom Cannon, and some symbiotic shenanigans, and a Drone of Glance as well. And there we have it. I think we could probably add some more guys in. Perhaps for our ground troop we can add in another one of these warriors. Yeah, we'll add in 1 more warrior to each of those groups. Same setup, we'll give him a Death Spitter, Rending Claws instead of Siding Talons. Same with our little Tyranid warrior here, Death Spitter, Lash Whip, and Bone Sword. And now, with all that done, we have our handy-dandy little Hive Fleet Ouroboros army. We got 3 Hive Turrets, 2 Ripper Swarm squads, 1 4-man Tyranid warrior, 3 30 Gargoyle units, 1 6-man Sky Slasher Swarm, 1 unit of 4-man Tyranid Strikes, and 3 Harpies, each with a Stranglethorn Cannon and Stinger Salvo. I think this unique little formation where you have a lot of flying infantry, that way you can easily escape through the battlefield and not have to worry about terrain and stuff, except for your very small ground-based troop unit. Your troop unit you will be using as a sort of weird scouting slash objective claiming party, while you have all your flying units bombarding your enemies and taking care of a few subjects here and there. Other than that, we have our army. If there's a Tyranid army you actually want to see, feel free to leave in the comment sections below, or perhaps an army you created for yourself, but want a little more ideas if you throw in some lore for them. Feel free to leave that in the comment section below. Other than that, you folks have a great day and take care. And that's the end of our video.